Because, Chomba, you know that President Lungu's aim was to bring all the political parties, opposition political parties together.
Right.
Why did he do that? He realized that the government of President Hakainde Hichilema, the greatest feared political party had was Patriotic Front. And President Lungu realized that. That's why he went, first joined UKA Alliance. And if you remember very well, in UKA Alliance, President Edgar Lungu took me there and seconded me there as the Deputy Secretary General to Lucky Molosa. There were some hiccups here and there, and you heard me continuously saying, we haven't left UKA. Up to today, nobody can tell me that they gave me a letter that they have chased me as the Deputy Secretary General for UKA. We never did that.
Right.
TONSE was formed by President Edgar Lungu. He knew that PF will never be given back to the original owners because he knew that that's the only weapon they had to remove UPND out of power.
Right.
But we thank God that PF is not on paper, but it's in the hearts of the people.
Right.
TONSE was formed, and the conditions of TONSE was that the anchor party, which was the Patriotic Front, had to produce a leader whom it was going to float on TONSE. And then the other political parties will fall in. What have we seen? Me personally, I was taken to TONSE by President Edgar Chagwa Lungu himself. And I was given a position there. There was some controversies which surrounded that, because I was taken there together at the same time, me, Honorable Davis Mwila, Mutotwe Kafuaya, and Mao Sampa. There was some dust which were raised, but later it settled. We continued going to TONSE. What I found very awkward is we were seconded to TONSE from the Patriotic Front by the then sitting president. I found it very awkward for the people in TONSE to chase Patriotic Front, which was the anchor party. So in what capacity was I going to continue sitting there? That's why you didn't see me participate in whatever was happening to TONSE. Good luck to those. And it's only Honorable Brian Mundubire who went there, apart from all the people who were seconded there and who were known. And I always say, what has happened in TONSE is not different from the illegal convention which Mao Sampa acknowledged. That's why there was supposed to be a consent judgment which was supposed to be entered over that. He acknowledged himself that the convention he had was illegal, and up to now I don't know why the judge hasn't just appended the signature to that effect. So I remained to the main body, which was the Patriotic Front, before injunctions were put in. Remember, there were about 10 people who paid their 2,000s to have to show interest to contest the top job.
That was 200,000.
200,000.
Yes.
And later there were 50,000 kwachas which were paid. As if that's not enough, the people who were preparing that no-name convention, it was under the able leadership of Honorable Given Lubinda. The Secretary Generals were Mao Sampa, who was the Secretary General for Political, and Celestine Mukandile, who is Secretary General Admin. And I can say confidently the way I'm saying, because I think I've been the longest serving Deputy Secretary General in a political party, and I know how Secretariat operates. Secretariat is the one which organizes if there is a convention. Nobody else. Honorable Given Luinda was there to oversee the preparations up to the end. He stepped down as per the constitution of the organization, which
for the elections.
For the elections, few minutes before we went for voting. That's when Honorable Jean Kapata took over. We went into the election, and out of the 7 candidates, Makebi Zulu emerged victorious, and with a very high number of votes. Makebi Zulu participated like any other participant. But what is shocking me, how many people have you heard congratulate him? Apart from the Council of Elders and Harry Kalaba. Everyone is quiet. But whether they are quiet or they speak, Makebi Zulu is a legitimate leader of the Pamosi Alliance.
So where does this put Honorable Robert Chabinga? I'm sure it's a no-brainer. We actually hosted him here, and it was just after the election of Mr. Makebi Zulu as president for the Tonse Alliance. And of course, he, for lack of a better term, he dismissed it, saying that wasn't legitimate. In fact, he was threatening legal action, that it was contempt, because it was a court matter that was still pending from the Kawe courts.
Well, in what capacity was this threatening that? Did he see anywhere where it was written when we went to a convention that it was PF? By the way, it's only those who are blind. Me, from the word go, if you have followed me, when Mao Sampa made that convention, I told everybody, Mao Sampa has always said PF is his uncle's party. This is a family affair. Why should we stick to a family affair? I always said that. And if people had listened from me, we couldn't have been where we are, because we could have let go and moved on. Who is Chabinga? Chabinga, they should know each other with the confused judgment which has come out now. Do you know who are the beneficiaries from that judgment? It's Mao Sampa, Chabinga himself, and Ingona. Because the court has dismissed that, there is no way Maos can dismiss Ingona, who is the Secretary General. And you know what the Electoral Commission of Zambia have said? For you to participate in an election, the President and the Secretary General are the ones who are supposed to sign out your documents.
Right.
So let them go and take their PF. Nobody's crying for PF. Pamoza Alliance, we are not crying for PF. PF will be gotten later in the future, not now, as long as President Hakainde Hichilema is in his seat. That will not happen. And now I can see, what can you make of it? When he was here, or next time he's here, ask him. He has already declared that he is in an alliance with President Hakainde Hichilema. What does he mean? You might not even see the Patriotic Front on the ballot paper. Why? Because Chabinga has already gone to dine with the UPND. If you find the PF on a paper with Maos, it's because they want to confuse the voters. But remember, this issue has been in court for 3 years. A lot of people are very conversant with what is going on.
Right.
So it's also working to their disadvantage. And you know, when I sit down and look, I ask, you know, before people used to cry that we don't have a lot of educated women. This is why we don't have women in high position, decision-making positions. But look at our educated women. Let's take an example of this set of educated women. Honorable Mtarena Rumango. She's a teacher by profession, I think with a master's or a degree. PhD. She's very educated. Look at Baneri Muti, very educated, qualified lawyer. Look at Bamwangala Zaromes, very qualified. Look at the judge at Contemptuous Chinyama Zulu, very educated. The Concord judge, I'm quoting people who have high positions. The Constitutional Court judge, a woman very educated. Are these the women you can compare to the women we had before, who had very humble education? The Mary Fulanos, the Mama Chibesa Kankas, even Chieftainess in Commission. Bamaebana Mulundika. Their level of education, can you compare with this? These women have mentioned, women of dignity, Kankasa, and them. Their education was humble education.
Right.
But now we have very highly educated women who are a disappointment to this nation.
Why did you say so, ma'am?
I mean, the way they are behaving. If I know I've got qualifications, can anybody push me around? A qualification which I acquired from my mother's house. Why should I risk my qualifications for the sake of an individual saving to spoil my family name, to spoil my academic qualification? No matter how long it will take. Do you know that some of these people, they are even abrogating the Constitution with impunity? Why should I do that? When the person I'm trying to protect didn't take me to school, I used my own brain. You tend to wonder. It goes back to what Basata said, that educated people are cowards. And it's true.
Okay. They
fear the unknown. We have seen it. I've just talked about the women folk. Men folk, it's even West Chaponda Namutaka.
So maybe, I know we'll talk about the general political landscape, but I want us to focus more on the PF. Did you at any point imagine the Patriotic Front, the mighty Patriotic Front, to be in the position it's in today at the time that they lost elections in 2021? Because, for lack of a better term, ma'am, with due respect, the PF right now seems like it's in total confusion.
It's not in total confusion. Me, I call it, it's in self-cleansing.
Okay.
The genuine people will remain. And for me, I think maybe because I believe too much in God. I believe it's God who is doing it.
Chalinga said the same thing, that him being holder of the documents right now, it's a blessing. Because if it was in the hands of anybody else, PF would have died a long time ago. That's what he said on this platform.
If he said that, you yourself, who is in the right, taking the part illegally, that's the right thing to do. And Chabinga, me, I feel sorry for him because he's very young. Even the people he's supporting, when he's old, he will face the music alone. The people who are using him, they will be long dead because that guy is very young. Look at the way he has poured his name. Would he want, anyway, maybe that's what he wants. Me, myself, I wouldn't want to associate my name with distraction, with the wrong things. You are aware that we have very big, powerful people in this country who cannot use their own parents' names. Why? Because their parents were a disaster. Their parents were a mischief. Their parents, the name can't be associated with them. They are there. But you have seen they're also behaving the same. Even their names will go into limbo because I don't think their children would want to associate with them. If I remember very well, you know, during the independence struggle, we hear of the stories of people like Omero Mumba being killed by his own tribesmen at Elari, no Tusembe. The children of those people who killed him, and they were mentioned, the children, their names are nowhere to be seen. I think they have changed them because they don't want to be embarrassed. So Bachabinga, if that's what he wants for his name, so let it be. Me, I would want my children to talk about my name proudly so, and with dignity. So it's what you choose.
Yeah, so back to the question, did you ever see the PF in this situation today after losing 2021, the situation that the PF is in right now, with all the membership, all the names that I can think of, from Honorable Brian Munduwile, Makebi Zulu, yourself, Mao Sampa, Chabinga, if they were put together, wouldn't you have thought they would have formed a formidable party to challenge the UPND? But as it is now, everybody is on his own.
You know, not everybody is on his own. Me, I'm with a group. When you look at this situation, I saw it. Do you know why? Because UPND wanted to destroy Patriotic Front, as I earlier alluded to. And our brothers and sisters, if you look at those who are part of the destruction, they have some things in their closets.
Right.
I'm one of those who was arrested on grounds, you know, I didn't kill anybody, but just to instill fear in me. And the people thought when I come out of prison on a nole, I would keep quiet. But that's not my nature. Me, I speak the truth. But these others, they can do anything to buy their freedom. Maybe because they know what they have done. Me, I know I'm very clean. Maybe that's why I speak. I saw it coming when we could have Sunday Chanda, my son, whom was eating in the same bowl with Balungu. At a certain point, Balungu even moved him to State House. That's where he was operating from. Change like that. I knew. And you know, in the next, UPND is gone. And it's gone and gonest. Believe you me.
What makes you say that?
It's gone. Even if, can you imagine that person who took a case for UPND to court, challenging it? How many days has it taken? Is it 4 days? The courts have thrown out the case. And isn't the judiciary exposing itself? Why have they held on to PF for 3 years? And the fight, which is founded by neglected UPND members, do you know what they are armed with? The other guy, I saw him saying he's a special forces. They even have special forces. I didn't know, we have just come to learn. In the UPND, Alakfirio Kotuya, look at the elections they have started having. I was watching on social media where women are undressing. Do you know that it's a taboo for anybody to say, me, I'm not breastfeeding. Namayo, taking off a shirt, showing amabere, like amabere and yard kopok, I don't breastfeed anymore. In our African tradition, you're only supposed to see a woman's breasts when they are breastfeeding. We don't hide them. When you stop breastfeeding, why should you take them out the way that woman in Mazabuka took them out? That's a taboo. Dancing, holding the breast, you think that is normal? There is worse to come. You mark my words. You remember this, they have told you. They won't even know what to hit them.
So before you go into general political affairs, what are we expecting to see on the ballot from where you stand as, I don't know if it's PF Tonse or Pamozi Alliance?
Pamozi Alliance, what you expect to see on the ballot is Makebi Zulu using a special purpose vehicle.
Which we haven't heard of just yet.
You are going to hear it when he goes to file in the nomination.
Okay.
Yes.
So for now it's a secret?
Yeah, we can't, the country we are living in, anything. You know, even judiciary, they are not respecting the rulings of the judiciary.
Right.
You remember when it was ruled by the judiciary, which is the Concord, over Bill 7. Did they withdraw the bill from the floor of the House? They didn't. They went ahead. Just yesterday, and you know, yesterday when I was listening to Basangwa and Chapter 1 Foundation, who is Chapter 1 Foundation? Lydian Kasonde complain about the Concord giving the Registrar of Society giving them 48 hours to give papers
to their movement,
to their political party, I laughed. And I remembered what Father Lupupa said, and he was castigated. Remember, Father Lupupa is a man of God. You remember that he said, no shadimo akabamo. When we were telling the people about the UPND, wasn't Basangwa part of UPND supporting them? Do you remember how Lydian Kasonde was supporting UPND? Tabaisangire in the skirmish yaba UPND. That's what it means. No shadimo akabamu. Nabarem supporter emobadi. Now they are suffering the same consequences.
So we'll see SPV formed at the point of nominations.
Yes.
Yesterday, Honorable Mausampa had a press conference where he was expelling members of the MCC and appointed new ones. What's your view on that?
So you didn't follow that? If you followed that, it's the same Central Committee which instituted after his illegal convention. Nobody's new there. Maybe the only new one is Rifwekero. Honorable Biris Chamba, the one he appointed for Central Province, he has posted on his Facebook, he has rejected that appointment. All those he was appointing, he was with them. And if you remember, some of them were even mentioned in the saga here to South Africa with Chabinga over the burial of Edgar Lungu. These three are working hand in hand. Don't be fooled.
How would you describe the general political landscape now?
The general political landscape is people are tired of the UPND. They are tired for the lies they were told. The people of Zambia were told, you'll be buying milimi at 50 kwacha, you'll be buying fertilizer at 250. They even went further to lie on the floor of the house. You remember Honorable Mtalena Lumango went on the floor of the house that we will start selling fertilizer at 750. Me as a farmer, I haven't seen that fertilizer this farming season at 750. They told the people of Zambia that kwa Dubai hakuna pula. In Dubai it doesn't rain in 10 years, but there is no load shedding. Haven't we had 4 years of load shedding? And you think people don't know when people are talking about Canona, which was selling our electricity. You are in a blackout, you find somebody, secretary to the cabinet from Namibia, come to thank your government when you are in a blackout that you are helping us with electricity. As it is now, have you heard the blackouts in Congo DR? The people were told that they'll fight corruption. How do you expect people to believe them when there are 65 containers? The person who presided over that saga just transferred to another ministry. They told the people of Zambia that there will be drugs in hospital. Have you gone to the hospital and see what is happening? A good example is the cancer hospital, where people, when you go there, you know that from there next it's the mortuary. Those are the things. Others who are seeing otherwise, they'll vote for them. But if you can see even their own cadres, you see them on social media talking, and when you look at them, even their own leaders, there are very few people who are looking healthy in UPND, and people are just bottling these things down. You are going to see when Parliament is dissolved what is going to happen.
They will argue that load shedding was caused by, of course, the droughts that we experienced, which was beyond their control. Aside from that, they've spoken about a huge number of scores: free education, new allowances for students. They've come up with a lot of. They've managed the debt issue that the PF left in very huge amounts. They've been managing that with the IMF, and I know when we open phone lines, they will come with the same sentiments. What's your take on all those achievements?
You know, when you're talking about the debt, have they negotiated with IMF for anything? It hasn't reached the completion. But umula nduwabu fi. And I don't know, these people, I even wonder, a lot of them are educated, but I don't know what their thinking is. Debt cancellation hasn't reached the conclusion. The way we saw our president coming, I don't know where he was coming from over debt. They collected teachers, our children, cream the cream from DK to go and receiving that there was debt cancellation. That was a lie. It hasn't been done. When you talk of free education, there was free education from grade 1 up to grade 7. UPND promised that there will be free education from grade 8 to tertiary. Has it gone up to tertiary? The answer is no. This meal allowance they talk about, are you not aware that it's a loan? It's not free money. Those children are being given a loan. When they start work, they have to pay. So there's nothing free. The meal allowance, they're entitled, they're using my taxpayers' money, me who pays tax, to pay those students. Cholera. Do you remember that during the time of PF, cholera finished?
Did it?
Yes, it did. But it has come back, which is very sad. I don't know how many cases there are. And in some areas, I don't know if cholera hasn't. You should make a follow-up, you being the fourth estate as a journalist. I wouldn't be surprised if we can get cholera from Unza, because they are living in filthy conditions. Look at the toilets. 200 kwacha. So there's nothing. When they come and tell you, I've stipulated free education, what they promised was from grade 8 up to university, up to colleges, which they haven't done. And in Nyanja they say, chipangano chinadula mutu waiwani. A promise is a promise. You can't do it halfway. So it's very sad. CDF, of course, you left it at 1.6 million. It's gone up to almost 40 million. That's a big achievement for the UPND, because obviously the decentralized local government into the constituencies. That has done quite well, Madam P. You and me, we are in Chongwe. That's where we live, eh? And both you and me, we are in Tandabale ward. Have you seen anything which has been built by CDF in Tandabale ward? And where you are near our Rudo clinic.
It's a huge constituency, they'll argue.
No,
and I think it's up for
in
delimitation.
4 years. In 4 years, nothing. When even the loans, I went to our councillor, told him, since you have chased these women who sell on the roadside, give them some empowerment. He promised me he was going to bring the forms so that I can give these women up to today. I even offered I can help these women because I saw how vulnerable these women became. Women were the ones who are feeding you men nowadays, because a lot of you are loafers. When they were chased from the road, there was a lot of suffering up to today. Look at the 1.8 million which was used previously. I can cite you examples which I did in Munadi when I was elected. The Chainda maternity wing was constructed from that same money. Mutendere PHI was part of that money. Do you know that from Munadi roundabout, the sewer things, those which are in Kaunda Square, was constructed in the same money? The road from Munadi to Mutumbi, check the records, it was the same. Can anybody show me what they have done? I completed the police station which Nawakwi left when she was the MP, because I took over from her in Chadley. It was the same. money. I bought solar panels for every clinic in Karingaringa, Mutendere, Kaunda Square, Chainda, using the same money. We were blocking drainages in Kamanga. I sank boreholes in Mutendere East, and one of those boreholes I hear, there is a UPND official who has now made the offense it's in his yard. I've heard. That's an offense. Now we can't follow you. But this year, when you are removed, we'll come and follow you. That's a community borehole. I can name them. Tandabade Wadimi, where I live, there's nothing.
So you
and
are
it's
saying,
sad to hear you heard of an MP's wife who got 100 million in dollar luro, and it was justified. Are you okay?
I didn't hear of that. Which MPs is?
In dollar luro, I can't just remember. Okay. Is it okay? Honestly, your husband gets paid. Do you know that members of parliament are paid when they are sitting every 2 weeks? And they have a salary? You even follow CDF to go and collect a loan. Are you being fair? That's why they fight in UPND, because those who are eating are few. So that CDF, it's neither here or there. There is a woman, I don't know if she's on the constituency or on the district, in Chingola on social media. Try to follow her. She's UPND. What is she complaining about? They haven't also seen CDF. Listen to Chiwokolo, this guy who insults us. Haven't you heard what he's saying? That was a staunch UPND. He hasn't gotten anything out of this government. So now I'm asking, who is fooling who?
So you can't score CDF as having been a huge score. Maybe in the rural areas, because you're mentioning constituencies that are in the urban.
Tandabale is part of Lusaka rural. Me, I'm just saying the way it is. Can you say you have scored when your friends were constructing schools? Like in Ikeleng, I don't know if that school has been completed, the boarding. Look at the schools, the boarding school, which is along Greatest Road in Sinda.
As you go to Petauke.
Yeah, as you go to Chipata, Sinda.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Have you seen Edgar Chagwalungu Secondary School in Petauke? Have you seen Nyampande boarding in Petauke? I can name them. Then you come and compare with the three blocks by 3. I don't even know what you call them, and you call that
3 by 3 classroom
yes
blocks.
And you call that is development. Ishkwena, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because we are supposed to have infrastructure like Kadindawalo Hospital. The WPF started phase 1, Kanyama level 1 hospital, Chilenje level 1. Those are the areas we are supposed to develop if you want to call ourselves, our country to be improving. We should clap. Not me.
So delimitation, I know they've argued that some of the constituencies are huge, so maybe CDF has failed to function, hence the delimitation. Do you think the delimitation exercise is justified? I think next week ECZ will be announcing constituencies that will be delimited. Maybe if they reduce the size, you will see development reach the grassroots?
Just the president a few days ago, you didn't hear that, according to him, the delimitation was done for them to win elections. Because he said without delimitation, he said it's not me who is saying, you heard. He said delimitation was done. If it wasn't done, UPND was going to lose elections. Now, if that can come out of the head of state, do you think that delimitation was done in good faith? Only time will tell.
What do you think of the whole Bill 7 process?
It's a sham.
Delimitation was there.
It's a sham.
Women
and they should have listened to what the people said and what the court said. But because the intention was, as the president himself said, they were going to lose the election if the Bill 7 didn't pass through. That was all, the intention for them to win election. But let's wait and see, we see if they are going to win. Because sometimes you can do things, your plans are not God's plans. You can do things and they backfire on you. You remember the story of Haman and Mordecai? The one who dug a dig for the friend, who fell in it? The one who dug for the friend. So time will tell.
What do you make of the opposition? Because you keep saying when they lose elections, but right now, even an electorate out there watching you, listening to you, is asking themselves, who do I vote for? What are the alternatives? Because what should have been a formidable opposition led by the Patriotic Front is no more. The other ones that come on, Socialist Party by Dr. Fred Membe and others, Harry Kalaba, do you think any of these opposition parties stand a chance to beat the UPND this year's elections?
Let me tell you, when I sit here, I'm talking to you, don't think we are not talking as opposition. We can't just review because of the situation we are in. In fact, just 3-4 days ago, I got a phone call from the Deputy Secretary General of CF Party, Dr. Kasese-Bota. There was somebody, I've become a victim, I think, because I speak the truth. Somebody made a voice note imitating my voice. Now Dr. Kasese-Bota knows my voice. We have grown up together. She's my friend. So President Harry Kalaba called, is this Mumbi who is saying these things about me? Even him was doubting. No, but the voice, especially at the end, it's not her. So Kasese-Bota calls me. Then I said, my sister, I've become a victim of this cyberbullying. Because within a week, my phone on WhatsApp has been hacked twice.
Okay.
Now I'm using a different number. Then I said, she said, listen to this voice note. Then I said, you Kasese, you don't know my voice. And no, even the president, Harry Kalaba, is refusing that this is not you. Then I said, no, let me call him. I called him and we talked, we laughed about it. So those who think we are not talking, they are wasting their time. They will be shocked. And we are aware that some of these candidates, and you're not surprised that it's a constitution which is being abrogated. How do you start getting application forms before a seat is vacant for a presidency? Who does that? That's why they are getting the applications on the 15th, 17th, and 18th. But even if some people are disqualified, we are going to soldier on with one opposition, and that will happen.
Okay.
We are talking to each other.
So right now, that one opposition is not yet confirmed, but
it will be confirmed very soon.
When it's safe to confirm. Right now, you're scared. Why would you say?
No, we are not scared.
Not scared?
We just don't want to play in their hands. We don't want, because these people, they want to hold people at ransom. So when they're doing Mingalato, it's just right that we also do Mingalato.
Okay. I think we'll open phone lines, ma'am. So let's rope in our listeners across the country. I know people are eager to call in and join this conversation. We shall open phone lines, but please, when you do call, keep it to a minimum, and then also we'll allow 3 calls at a time to help you respond. So if you want to join in, you can call on 0979 192 485, 0979 192 485, that's Airtel, or 0955 997 997. We've got Honorable Madam Mumbi Phiri, who is here with us. So feel free to join in and let us hear what you've got to say. Yesterday, we saw a faction led by, Given Lubinda through its SG, Reverend Kachinda, that was appealing against the High Court judgment, which was validating the Mausam leadership.
Point of correction. Given Lubinda and Honorable Nakachinda, those we are on the same group.
So you're in support
the people who held the convention, it was under the able leadership of Honorable Given Luinda, whom President Edgar Lungu left with us as acting president. So we are in the same boat, unless otherwise something which I don't know. And as of now, the one we were all, in fact, that's why we were even chased from Tonse Alliance, because they are saying, you go and put your house in order. Now we have put the house in order. The person who emerged leader is Makebi Zulu. Makebi Zulu is the president of Pamozi Alliance. Whether people like it or not, is the head. And by the way, we are even aware that we have two losing candidates and another person who are trying hard to sell PF. We are aware.
Okay, let's pick up this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Zambian.
Zambian, Mlishan.
Wino.
Okay, where are you calling us from? And quickly go on with your contribution.
Nkwayawe. Na varondo tolesingi sana iskankala kairi. Gamwamo na wino wa chavingavo. Eto varedwisha. Usenda pate by force batwale mu UPND. Illegally. Because of hiyo yali illegally. Hero futi ngachakwa vati muri alliance na umuntu. Why ababambi balekanyina? So it means it was illegal. So it report akwe vati ba UPND yonse ya matrix ya ba UPND. Bakwe vati bepa PF nomba PF tabayipaye. Kairi fwe bonse turemona. Fwe bali background turemona esichika. So tureba mona wino pa August nanikani. And then two chimbi echonde cha encouraging takwe vati. Vachiteko speed up pakwe vati Makebi Zulu akabe pa ballot. Because of to be behind the 12 kwe vati at least nukulepo ubuteko. Ude tere bantu iyo varetere ni misango yari muri kaunda. Varemo no kwe vati nga kaunda aremo na ati uyu nakwatamano. Kumponya. Pakwe vati nomba iwe one party state. Bantu ileo vare pangani one party state. Yoko vare aba UPND.
Okay.
Manu vakwete. So, mwangu fianyeko pakwe vati at least ko uyu nani kani awe pa ballot nani kani uyu. Makebi Zulu.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll pick up another call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, thank you. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. Please tell us...
Mayo, Mayo.
Bwino mkwainga balishani, niba nindes...
Chaba Mayo, Rapson mwana wenu.
Okay.
Mkwai. Nande lipokulanda kwa hile tule umfati yo, balichita deriva, bali CDF, balichita employee fish na fish. Pero, nibo mbele ya CDF ya isa nomba. Patatula imuna... Kulingana ile ya 1.6 yale kitakuwa sindisi ya manufoto walemo. Moreover, wale ndo kwa TF yalikuongole sana endalama. But what they have not told us from 2021 to date is how much they have borrowed themselves. They are so secretive about this piece of information. I'm not saying that TF borrowed. They have borrowed more than they have borrowed more in this short time, more than the PF borrowed in 10 years. This is a fact, and they are not disclosing this information. It's very important that as people, we sober up, we begin to think deeply when we are receiving information from the APND.
Right.
Further, if we are going to revert, Mumbi Academy, kaunda vale nine na chura. Padi lero baka ine kwa nine na chura, le chura zinampera vote. Ikintu na sirubana, nabe ngishabene 6,000 rengisha wantu bali papero. Itu application umuntu pancho telefora. What is the motivation for those people to work? Huh? Katulibana, trelo shama fotas ka treno na tre kumana.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Mansa. We'll pick one more call and then allow you to comment. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
This is Charles calling from Kitwe.
From Kitwe. What's your name again?
Charity.
Charity from Kitwe. Please go ahead quickly.
Yes, good morning, Honorable Mumbi.
Good morning, my daughter Charity. How are you?
I'm okay.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
then in the chapter for the Queteco, Vanamara Varinga Imwe, I went in a Patishinka, which are the But you have seen that Ama women, Ama Vanamara leadership, Tabalanda, that were quiet. Munangwa Valatina, Ukuvekata. Chichawama Sana Vanamanga, if they can come out and speak the truth, and Mukubakongesimwa by Mokula de Chinta, because Mwamina Charo Zambia. So in the Mumbi, I wish we could have more women who are like you, who are bold about Tina, Slanda Chinta. And when you are speaking the truth, I want to tell a why, which is wrong. When you are a leader, you need to have people who can criticize you, who can tell you the truth, and you move on for the betterment of our Zambia.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Perhaps you can make some comments as we get.
Yes, I'll start with Charity. My dear daughter, thank you for those comments. I love it that you are appreciating me as a woman. What I believe in, and the time I spent in prison, is that I look at Paul and Silas. If you are a Christian, truly the gates of prison, no matter how long it takes, they will open. We are seeing some people, even in Europe. I was reading of somebody who spent, is it 40 years in prison, or by some Sangati, that person was not guilty. You don't know why God takes you to go through situations. Unfortunately, nobody innocent just because of going to prison. God has a purpose for everything. No matter how long it takes, the truth will come out. Thank you for those nice words. Vamwansa. Chachine tamumwene lidaba UPA efo mwalanda chachine. Lidaba UPA ndi baishire in power bali landa ba PF bali kongola sana. Bapi nomba balalanda nge bafine mwalanda. Them what they have bashutire kumwense. Uri omulumendo baipe kumukushi fyambo kubashinina efirya kumwesu tuimbati ngombera shabanobe monesho besha kukopolelo mo. As I conclude, bambewa sembe mwakamba mchinyanja, bambewe nenzamu yankani mchinyanja imokwani mumakamba kuti kuona meso yankono ni kudeka. Bachavinga na bamausampa taba mwana menso yankono pantu taba tekenye andi bale fwaya ifwe tubakonke kucho bapokere abeni balanda nokulanda bayalemba na consent judgment kwashara fyo kubika po signature oko tule yakwati tuli batutu awe nangu nakulire kukamchanga kukomboni awa at least ka education wa mobile ntwere ko ku school mwe na pako na grade 12. We can't follow that. Tia bufufu ntungu. Thank you very much. Otherwise, 15 April bambewe. Ilili nete ni Wednesday next week.
Yeah.
Katuishi Makebi ngawaka mpera 15. Kani 16 about 3 days.
Yeah.
Mwala ishibaka chita filing. Elo mwala ishiba na people's vehicle. If anything will change, Makebi, who is your president, will again give you direction on how we are going to move.
Right.
Thank you.
We have another caller. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Wino ni mwabani waka mchanga.
Bacha makuta mchanga pali wa Julius na yue. Jana Chilea.
Ni mishi baba na Chilea shani bakaramba.
Mtuanzi. Hao ni mwana koseni tulibonse.
Thank you.
Ulelanda wino very good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ukesa kolista yue.
Kesa. Mumpe na lapo ka namba. I'll call you after the meeting. Wana nja bato wale kula bose kuka mchanga.
Okay.
Tulamulana na banoko mule pesa ko kuno.
Okay, I'll come.
Bana kachava.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Thank you. Abdul Pakabwapa. Maiwa Mumbi Phiri, mwabuka shani.
Nabuka febuino mwabuka shani.
Wabuka febuino kwa na kaboko na maiwa Mumbi Phiri. Kwa turo kwa mna tukosende kemo murenza no kurenza tire kimana kwa mrabasha.
Mkwe.
Kwa mna ndi wakasa kwenu. Maiwa Mumbi Phiri. Kwe kwa ba mumo amaninga kirosha. Amani mkunanda kwa diba Mumbi Phiri. Ayama nalai kachama fraka. Sigire sikike kwa tungu sana kupano. Waumfoko Sabinga, waumfoko wa Mausampa, waumfoko wa nani, abade kunganya kipanchezika PF. Prepo kwa trisi sine mulipa mulabasa hapa, mwiteko clarify. Waite kimwe venenga abakulu, abalipo hapa, pancho amenzo yesu kwa yima simumayo bana kipi. Pamula tuwabasi bana. Keki mutetele panchi wa brani munduile, jena wa Makebi. So that wabofia vehicle imo. Because the pamozi PF, I think tapari oko ya alatu tuwala mayoba Mumbi Phiri. Ningi shiwa tapari oko ya alatu tuwala ino. Kamula ndi wakowa chawa wantu wa IPND tabarepo kumoneshi na dia PF kuwa pabaroti. Keti mukwae kopye inshida au mwane watekera pongaba kiashi abana kashikozi. Umukiashi umwana kashipoto wa ishi batute eufutatira abana. Ba Makebi na ba Mundubire bonse bari mu mapindo enu bana benu. So ishiwe ni pie minzi na wezi o mwala tekera panshi. Ipo kwe wanti pano pa ground mo especially pano pa kabule. Ino go area ya ba UPNG. Twari baba ikatana ipote turefu wake kumo na ba Makebi na ba Mundubire okubombera pamo na totera mayo.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll pick up another call. Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Alex within Lusaka.
Alex within Lusaka. Please go ahead quickly.
Mamu.
Good morning,
Alex,
please
speak up.
Okay. Ili amotera ndati abakashiwa ba MP basindire ndarama ya CDF niba abakashiwa Grigod umpongo.
Oh, okay. Mwamona shachira vipa. Bushuwa bantu baumfwa. Yes, Alex.
We are together on the ground.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So
I respond. Yeah. This one will be very quick. But Alex, mwamfwa bachita confirm na chira baba kashibaba nani. Nomba iwola fola n'abarume balafola. Tuwakonkera na CDF. Kumpongo kwa abana bakamalasha instead akwati baba pere ko CDF iyo 100 million bapera abakashi bashitemo fyenjinga.
But CDF, does it have a limit to say imutet musende? Only the...
You know, some of these things, my dear son, ma morals fie. Campingu, wamu mutima obakule shafie. Especially when you are living in a community where people are vulnerable. Abantu kumpongwe na kulira na fiariro no kulira copper belt. Bamo, their means of transport, ma bicycles. If you want to improve your people's lives in your constituencies, iyo 100 million tuma bikes tuinga ingashita bapera fye bali abo chamalasha instead of yakula sendera malasha panjinga bale sendera pa bike, it will go a long way. You don't even have to follow guidelines. It's your morals which should guide you. And then ba abeo kukabwe ba abeo ilia judgment ya fumine ya kuwesesha ba mouse ichipani chira ichipani babweseshe ba mouse ba chabinga na ba ngona. Because ba ngona ba mouse, remember ba rela ndati ba ritamfya ba ngona expelled him, but the court has refused. So aba batatu ebali muri ibya PF bangona bachabinga bangona balugwaro aba mouse bali pamo and nga mwachumfofo na chilanda area on tefyonse tuingesa pano twaisa mkusokolola yo aba baleranda naba. I gave an example. If you na leranda naba kalaba na mwalingu mfwa pono kungu mfwa ndachita advise nati wonse fwe bali either ku camp ya ba Makebi nanguli ku kampu y'abamundubire imwe mweba kwete especially umusalula lekeni. Where will you be ngole salula either Makebi nangu mundubire? Where will you be ababantu ngabayikata nabambo kwendera pamo? It's not impossible that these people cannot work together. And it's not impossible that they are talking. Ndi mukalamba na imwenga mbi bakalamba nokufundwanga mwadifundwa mwamfofo na alanda. It's not everything which he can come pamlobasa to ambo kulanda. Awe.
All right, another caller. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling from Namwala. My name is Joy Mulopwe.
From Namwala, Joy Mulopwe.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Madam, good morning.
Good morning, Joy. How are you, my daughter?
I'm fine. I just want to contribute. If I was near, ngakumi papanga na chimi papa.
Ukumpapa?
Ukumi papa.
Uku?
Ukumi papa kunu makwanjuku. Aramani yepyo mulera ndapotishinka. It's very true what you are saying. People are not being compensated for. Because ukukuma universities, a lot happened. But simply they just stay quiet. They don't even bother to publicize things. And let's look at, I was impressed when you said the issue of AMA school development. Because muli the PF, they KK wing Malekuri. That KK wing you are building that one. They just came to open it. They just opened it. And now no, we made this, we are busy saying not to Adikure. Let's look at Edgar Chagolungu Secondary School, that school. Can you compare that school to Tuma Katushin and one by 3 classroom block and Tuma one by what? Mama, because PF has worked. PF has worked. Our barrier. And we start wish what people will say, because.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Joy. Thanks, Joy. We need to give room to other callers.
Anyway, this is what I wanted to contribute on.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll pick one more caller. Good morning.
Good morning,
Molishani, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Okay, this is Mama T calling from within Lusaka. Nayoba Mumbi Phiri mwavukashani.
Ndifyebo ino my daughter, how are you? Batata balishani.
Awa tulifyaba mutende na totera.
Not wishkulu.
Emkwaye yao balifyebo ino bonsi.
Okay, talk to me, my daughter.
Emkwaye. Rama yeto mulelanda. Mulelanda sefishinka. Let me contribute on ayaye namana nkanama dates balelanda ba UPND ba kainde. Balelanda sana ba PF bale Kongola MP so bale Kongola kapisho ko bale twala bale stashani bale ona ule MP ashacharo. Nomba, you know, like you are saying, ma'am, Mona, because the UPND, they've borrowed more than PF did. Now, borrowing about PF, to Mona, ama developmental programs. We saw hospitals being built. We saw schools being built, of which there are some schools which were built by my father, ECL. Akainde came and employed some teachers. And he is not even grateful. He says we have employed, we have brought free education. What free education? Ero vale kula batata maskulu vale randa tishan. Ati tukaradi ama skulu, tukaradi ama roads. These are the same schools which Akainde now is boasting about it to say he has brought free education. It's my father. May he so rest in peace. I say, Otabakulira yali ama skulu. Free education hii inayo mwalanda na mstatifu ngamwali ikwanisha. Nomba mutuwebe. Apart from tuliotumbu soto mwakula. Mutuwebe. Echo mchitirene mpia. Isho shina isho mure Kongola. Mwatuwele kubiu 7. Mutuwele mkustemingala toko na ule chipani PF. The government ya mtango shani ya kwa tomu choice. ya PF mwaliona ule chipani na mushitaba chabingabo mwababika mmapa yenu ati yo PF takwaba yo opposition takwaba nshamo napo inopo na fyalirwa nshamo napo ifyaisi erona napo nomba ala kainde alikwata omwenso.
Okay, thank you very much.
In conclusion,
please conclude.
Na tuishiba ifofine balanda bambayo kweba twa opposition balela nshanya ifotilipa ground tira kuntu mwasende speaker but ama members okotwaga for abantu pa ground okotwaga 4 years of load shedding ayama chuchi to amona ama small businesses abana nayo yalipona because yana nikane poor management yaba UPND.
Okay.
So ifonda watu washati mpyo ni hata mwebana hawana voter card na tukwata. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is your namesake from within Lusaka. So we'll take one more call so that we can allow you to comment because just flowing through. So we'll pick one more. Hello, good morning.
Mabuka sana moderator.
Unoshani.
Wa Mumbi Phiri muzuire twana.
Ande muzuire chani voma Angela.
Muzuire ande.
Bulelela.
Nani utwira ande bata baemu buyabo Mumbi Phiri likute busana kuba nilikute abayizi fa ground momu buya kuri museri mwamboli sana mkonkweza publicity fama radio station kona ndo yebutokwa notice kanisika useza publicize fama Facebook fama yo ze mwambola ngepela unatoa mina wala urukimi na bariziba. I'm sorry, Mama friend.
Me, I can hear you, but I can hear the presenter is looking at me speaking Nyanja.
It is fine. I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm sure there are a lot more people out there that are picking up.
If you see Nese Murelanda, Ningu Fasana Murelo Drandi, neto tupitiremo fingi sana. Nefifina mwakumeko kuwati Mureland Sanya Mwemari Dazi. No muchinsi kwa bali background tukuletu wakwate omuchinsi tuyapina mwachiraro ondolola no mbanga baita abapamu mwebale tukama leaders tukayakuisa andi tikalamba itikine tonde mikoselesha mayo ngamulela nshanya mirafileta fyonse pama radio station na ngwabone pipina mwalanda tipimbi teti tulande mule sunga fiesio fine mkete tuwela pama lasti bantu ngafile umfika abantu webo tukwete pantu dama mwana tipase 18 August baleya bakafo kupanga emingala tosa abana batro kubomba mali nali kumya tukukomboka kule kama kwete nenso ni public yo bapanga kalabo iya kumyeso yi mongu kalabo road epo balesa mwine yapanga ba PF baleti ba PF tababomba PF yali bomba abo ba mausa mpaka ngo bakitefu yabo ifo PF yaba mutima mayo nasi shwete tukachita pase 18 August
okay amakanje
mausa mpaka ngo bakitefu emingala tosa bona ba tabinga yakuleko baleya bakalo belia umapake 18 August na panga kareta kosa mayo thank you.
Thank you very much.
Alabangu fisha mwino.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Please tell us your name.
Dina Makebeti.
Makebeti, the ladies have called in today. I'm very happy about that. Makebeti, where are you calling from? Kumunali. Okay, please go ahead quickly so to give chance to other callers. But Kambani Timbe.
Nafuna kufunza ko ba Mumbi Phiri pali ba Mike Mposha banakambatiswa funa kuyimirira ku Munali banatabira ku Machipata uko bakamba po bwanji.
Okay. Zikomo. All right. So maybe I'll give you a chance to respond.
Ba Makebeti. Vamposha nolo batabire kuchipata ngati munamvera ine kumalambo ine nibakonka nimwamene ninakambira konse kwamene wazaenda ba Mike Mposha. I have to sensitize people that is not a good leader. Somebody who lies is not a good leader. Kumalambo in fact ninamba no ikamu kuuza bantu kuti nibamene banani na mizira tinachita aggravated robbery na baibira phone ine mzimai. There are examples of people vamene vichita show kuti Bamposha sibafuno nkala na bantu bafuno pereka bantu kuma police That's his job. Bakumalambo bakambo bapereka ku police. Chizankala bwanji. Because those people are poor, they can't even pay money, admission fee. So tifuni katiba chite dies. It's personal. Ninamba noika mundarama. And I'm sending people there. So that Baba Uze, why he has run away from here. Two Banangela church ne mwangu mfisha wino. Ero mwachirala ndakwati ndi museo kumongu. I love these people. Banangela, me, I was shocked. You know, since I came back from prison, I was in Ikalabo last month. I went for my nephew's ordination. He was being ordained as a priest. And the ordination took place in Ikalabo. You know, Kupapa. Ababantu bareba abantu ba Western Province ati bakawami umusebo from Lusaka to Mongo. Do you know that bachitako part of Nkema? Kupapa from Mangango turn off partly mwapita pakaoma and a short distance ukuya kunkema Lukulu Luchindu Road tabai katako. Are these the people you can trust? Abantu baku Western Province badi fulwala abantu fotabaleranda ngefine na chiralanda tefintu olobana